Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be doing yet another Best Songs of the Month video, and this time for the month of May. So we're going to be going over all of the stuff I've checked out on the channel in the month of May. There's been a lot of good releases that have came out, the Kim Petras release, Kacey Musgraves, and I've also went back and kind of reacted to some stuff that have came out in past years, like Bjork and Magdalena Bay. So there has been a lot of good music that I have checked out in the month of May. And again, yeah, let's just dive right into some of my favorite songs of this whole month. So just to get the list started off here, I want to go over some of my favorite K-pop songs for the month of May, starting with Lemonade by aespa. Obviously, the first reaction is there on the channel for you to watch, along with most of these songs that I pinpoint out. But this one is just, aespa to their roots. The last couple of comebacks haven't exactly piqued my interest with aespa quite like this comeback. And I mean, it's confidently to their clubby kind of, fun roots that, they have been doing for a long time now. So, this is one of the best K-pop songs of the month. It's fun. There's variety in here. It's not always just kind of doing the same thing. It's always switching up. It keeps you interested. And it's along the same lines as like Whiplash, Spicy, that kind of sound for aespa. And this is, the sound that they do best, and they nailed it here. Another K-pop song that is within my favorites is Motto by ITZY. I mean, ITZY really surprised me with this one. This is one of my favorite comebacks from ITZY in a while now. It's a different sound for them. Normally they do this kind of girl crush, kind of more electronic style, but they kind of decided to go outside of their comfort zone and kind of do this more bubbly and bright sound that is less electronic and more kind of just classic K-pop style when you think about it. And it works for them really well. That chorus is just super fun to listen to, and it hits every single time. Again, a comeback nailed for ITZY. Kind of, out of their comfort zone, but still very good for them. We also have a comeback from ILLIT that came out this month, It's Me. This one, again, is divisive because of its sound. It's a trend in K-pop right now to do this kind of hard style, very kind of repetitive, techno-ish sound. You see it with Kacey, what they've been doing lately, Le Seraphim, Boompala, Celebration as a couple of examples. And It's Me by ILLIT is an example of this where I think it actually works. The production is so fun. They kind of have a charisma in this song that, really works compared to sometimes the charisma does not work in a song like, Le Seraphim or Kacey. So this song really works for this kind of, popularized style lately in K-pop. And it's just so fun, so catchy. It is repetitive, but in the sense that it is, eye-catching and less annoying. So again, one of my favorite K-pop songs of the year. They nailed it. And to end off the K-pop section of this list, we have Heavy Serenade by NMIXX. So they came out with the EP this month. I checked out a lot of NMIXX this month, and I was kind of blown away with this kind of double pairing of Crescendo and Heavy Serenade. Heavy Serenade is very good. Again, it does this mix pop thing where they blend kind of non-traditional elements with pop. Every section of the song is something new. A verse, then we get a pre-chorus on top of an existing pre-chorus, a hook. Like the structure of these songs, in particular Heavy Serenade by NMIXX, is just, it's so sonically interesting. It's gorgeous. I am really surprised I have not checked out NMIXX sooner, and they just blew me away with this comeback for sure. Something from earlier part in the month is from Zara Larsson's remix album of Midnight Sun, and this one is the Pretty Ugly remix with JT and Margo XS. Again, the energy on this one, something that is very much needed in this remix compared to the original. I feel like the original version of the song is quite annoying and jarring at points. And, you know, this additional rap verse by JT in there adds that energy. The bouncy production, more electronic, by Margo XS, she nails it on that part as well. It's just, you know, everything that I think this song was missing is elevated. One of my favorite remixes on this new remix album from Zara Larsson, but in general, that whole Midnight Sun remix album was very, very well done, and something that I felt was needed, and, you know, is really, really continuing this, you know, Midnight Sun era that Zara has really, really popularized. Next up, we have Walkout Music by James Blake, which is my favorite song off of Trying Times, which I reviewed and didn't react to, but I reviewed a couple weeks back. And yeah, I was blown away with this album, in particular with Walkout Music, which is the intro to this album. It sets a scene perfectly. It's so dramatic, kind of unlike anything in the entire album. Again, it's gorgeous. It is sonically cohesive with the rest of the album. And yeah, for someone like me who is not super in touch with James Blake's music, this kind of, you know, intro track really, really shocked me and wanted to kind of, you know, caught my attention to really, really want to listen to the rest of the album. And, you know, yeah, it sets an incredible tone for the album itself. So Walkout Music, one of my favorite songs of the month. A couple Bjork songs on this list as well, of course. First one, we have Pagan Poetry. So I have not reacted to Vespertine quite yet, but I am going to. But I have reacted to Pagan Poetry, which is the main track off of Vespertine. That is incredible. Gets this era started off with a bang. It is gorgeous. Lyrically, also super gorgeous. One of the best slower, you know, almost ballady-like tracks in Bjork's discography. Vespertine in as a whole is shaping up to be an incredible album, and I'm so excited to check it out. And a very divisive song within Bjork's discography, Pluto. I love this one. As you guys will know, I reacted to this, the homogenic reaction. I was stunned when I first heard this song. This is experimental like any other. Probably so far, out of all of the songs I've heard in Bjork's discography, this is her most experimental. And it works. It is so, you know, stimulating, in the best way possible. It's really, really interesting, non-traditional. And again, it really catches your attention. In the whole homogenic album, this is the one that I am really loving. It was kind of a toss-up between Joga and Hunter as well to kind of take this spot, but I think Pluto deserves it more just because of how kind of non-traditional this is compared to some of the stuff on Homogenic. So these two songs by Bjork are some of my favorite that I've heard of this month. And yeah, again, the artistry is off the charts with her. A couple weeks ago, I reacted to Eusexua Afterglow by FKA Twigs, since I was really getting into Sushi by her, and I wanted to check out this full length. And let me tell you, Hard by FKA Twigs on this album kind of blew me away. You know, it was a grower. It wasn't my initial favorite on first reaction. If you go to check that reaction out, I wasn't in love with it. I enjoyed it. It was up there for one of my favorites, but I wasn't over the moon about it. And yeah, it's just such a fun dance track that is almost, you know, comparable to the likes of Sushi. I'm really, really happy that I checked out Eusexua Afterglow and just kind of continuing this FKA Twigs discography kind of discovery. You know what I mean? So I'm on the way to Magdalene. I want to check out some of her even earlier stuff too. So that is a work in progress. But Hard by FKA Twigs is, again, one of my favorite songs that I've heard this whole month by far. A pairing from the Kacey Musgraves album that I also heard at the beginning of the month, so almost a month ago now. We have Horses and Divorces and Mexico Honey. Horses and Divorces blends this mariachi style in many songs of this album, but in particular Horses and Divorces with Miranda Lambert as well. It's a collaboration, I forgot to mention, but she blends this mariachi kind of, you know, Mexican style, Mexican folk style into country, kind of blending the two, and it's kind of a sound that I would have never imagined would have worked together. But, you know, obviously considering country is kind of, you know, a popular, you know, thing in the south of the States, Mexico, obviously close to the south, you know, obviously there's going to be some overlap, and I never really thought of it that way. But this combination of sound is something that works super well, and it's gorgeous. And yeah, one of my favorite tracks of this whole month. It is gorgeous. And Mexico Honey, again, a little bit different, still combines that mariachi sound on the album, but it is very similar to kind of like Dry Spell, where she is, you know, more quirky, adding more personality into this country, where it's kind of, you know, again, it's non-traditional country lyrics. It's not your typical country style. It blends this kind of, you know, sexual nature, again, like Dry Spell, with this track. And again, not talking about a truck and a beer and all of these other things that are very, very cool to hear in a country song. This very, very different sound. I really like the personality that she embraces on this song, Mexico Honey. And yeah, these two tracks are my favorite on the album, but what a fantastic album as a whole, this Kacey Musgraves album. Please check it out if you haven't done so already. Again, another release from earlier in the month from the Devil Wears Prada 2 soundtrack, we have Glamorous Life by Lady Gaga. Now, I enjoyed Shape of a Woman, I enjoyed Runway, but Glamorous Life is my favorite out of all of the 3 tracks that Gaga has released for Devil Wears Prada. It's so dramatic, one of my favorite Gaga kind of dramatic ballads, even compared to Hold My Hand or, you know, anything like that. It's one of the most gorgeous songs I think she's ever done, at least in a similar style to Glamorous Life. It's just so good. Beats, you know, Blade of Grass, all of these other kind of power ballads in her discography. And yeah, it fits the ending of this movie so well. Feels perfect for a movie. It's very vulnerable, gorgeous, emotional. That's exactly what I wanted to hear, and it's, yeah, my favorite song of all of the 3 that she has released for The Devil Wears Prada, sneaking its way in, obviously, to my favorite songs of May. Magdalena Bay found her way onto this list, so I just reacted to Imaginal Disc on the last day of May, so it did qualify on this list, but Image by Magdalena Bay, probably my favorite off of her album, but I couldn't really decide. I didn't want to put everything that I heard on the album into this list, so it was a toss-up between That's My Floor, Death and Romance, The Ballad of Matt and Mika, and many other that I really, really enjoyed on the album and have grown on me immensely. But Images is the one that I decided to go with. That song, it's such a well-done pop song. This whole album as a whole, though, kind of not just singling out Image, it's such a well-done pop album, and please check it out if you haven't. It was released back in 2024. I heard, you know, a lot of chatter regarding this album, and I was like, ooh, I should check this out. One of the best things I have ever done. But Image is my favorite from the album. One of my favorite pop songs on this list. Again, I would say top 3 songs for this month of May that I have heard. I do not know where I was when Imaginal Disc first dropped, but clearly not anywhere near the music scene as much as I should have been, because Image and this album as a whole, obviously, incredible. Next up, we have a Charli XCX single that isn't rock music, but SS26. You know, again, kind of like rock music, this era seems to be really, really divisive so far from Charli, and I'm really liking this sonically. I really liked rock music. I did not understand why people were hating on rock music when I first heard it, and same for SS26, really. It's such a gorgeous, vulnerable track. The music video also uplifts the song so much. This rocky sound is still present in SS26. It's got this grungy guitar. It's got this, you know, certain sound that we have never heard from Charli before, and it is just written so well. The lyricism on this one is such an upgrade compared to rock music. I mean, dude, I am so excited for this Charli album. She is going to give us something that she has never brought us before. And that is exciting, because it's not like you can say, you know, okay, I know what Charli's going to do this time. It's going to be her hyper-pop shit again. By the way, I love her hyper-pop stuff. I don't know why I said it like that. But this time, you really don't know what the fuck she's going to do. And SS26 is an example of that. It's such a gorgeous song. And yeah, I'm just, so good. Okay, ending this list, we have 2 songs from my favorite album, one of my favorite albums of the year, but definitely my favorite album of the month. We have Detour by Kim Petras. In particular, the two songs I've chosen to make this list is 101 and Jeep. So we have a more emotional side of her coming into the list with Jeep. I could have picked Brutalist as well. I really like Brutalist, but I picked Jeep. That was released as a single. Again, it's gorgeous. It blends this kind of country pop with like hyper pop elements, electro pop. It is gorgeous. It is so beautiful. And again, yeah, it's an emotional track that I think is still sonically cohesive in the context of Detour the album. Now, the loudest sound, I think, ever in existence is 101 by Kim Petras. It reminds me of Slater's Worst Girl in America, very, very reminiscent of that, which is another top album of mine for this year. But yeah, it's just such a banger. The production is done so well. The charisma she nails in this whole album. You know, her working with the Frost Children really did her career so much justice. And I mean, it's not only the Frost Children why this album is so good. It's definitely a lot of Kim's involvement for sure, but linking up with the Frost Children on the production team just allowed her to have so much freedom. And 101 is really where you get to see all the fun from this album. Arguably the most fun track on this album, and probably my favorite song of the month. It is just such fun, you know, electro, hyper pop. We are eating good when it comes to, you know, this electro pop, hyper pop dance sound this year. Tiffany Day, Kim Petras, Slater, Underscore is right behind me there. Nina Geraci back in 2025. Like, we have so many talented, you know, artists in that genre that, I mean, it's hard to kind of, you know, forget about them. But yeah, that rounds out my list in no particular order of my favorite songs of the month of May. Again, I guess I will see you next month for my favorite songs of June, which will also be fun. I like doing this every month. I hope this kind of opens you guys up to some new song recommendations that you have never heard before. And yeah, that's why I do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I will see you guys in the next one.